As an Airbnb host, you and I have had some nasty guests, right? Well, check this one out.
What a slob. Yuck.
This has had to have happened to you. I'm gonna teach you how to get rid of this thing, how to clean upholstery. Because this couch, it hasn't been cleaned in a while. My housekeepers have not been keeping up on this. This thing is nuts bad. Let me show you some more, and then we'll clean it. There is junk all over the back of the couch, all over the top of the couch. It's pretty much everywhere. And I'm sure it's even on the arm over here. I'm actually kind of afraid to sit down on this thing. Yuck. Well, just so you know, I used to clean carpets when I was 16 for my mentor, Rodney. That included upholstery, that included like animal recovery stuff. I once had to climb into an attic with a body coverall suit on with a mask to clean out insulation where 50 raccoons had been living, mating, eating, taking a dump, all of it. In like the dead of summer, Wisconsin, it was like 110, 150 degrees up there. It was nuts. I've done a lot of dirty work. So this will be a walk in the park. There's a few short and easy steps that we have to follow to clean this, because it's not anything difficult, but if you get ahead of yourself, you're just gonna cake the stuff in. Make sense? So like this video, because liking's cool, right? It helps keep me employed as a YouTube creator. And let me show you step number one. You'll be like, oh my God, of course. Now, my friends, luckily you don't need special equipment to pull this off. We're just going to have various abrasive tools. Yeah, we'll call it that. I don't think that's the correct way to describe this, but we're going to do some scrubbing and we're going to dry vac. And at the end, if we absolutely need to, then we can wet vac, or we can actually clean with detergents. But for the most of this, you won't even need any special equipment. So step one actually is to vacuum the surface. The reason why is 37% of all dirt inside of anything, rugs, floor, couch, carpet, whatever, is dry particulate matter. There we go. And that basically means like sand and dry dirt and lint and whatever else, right? Stuff that will come off in the vacuum. Then we're going to lightly scrub the outside and vacuum again, because what we're going to try to do is keep from getting stuff into the couch. Let me vacuum this first, and then I'll explain what I mean. By vacuuming the very, very surface, we're preventing ourselves from accidentally rubbing in that outer layer of dry matter as we start to clean. So we're going to lightly brush the outside to try to scrape up anything that's most on the outside again and break that loose, and then vacuum over it again. We're gonna go a little bit deeper, and then we're gonna vacuum over it again. The whole goal is to prevent from further caking in things that are nasty, because the more we push stuff in, the harder it is to get out. Make sense? So I'm gonna start with this because it's the most shallow, and then we're gonna vacuum. Then I'm gonna move on to this, and we're gonna vacuum again. I love steel wool for almost everything. And if something is especially hard to break off, I'll just use steel wool. And yes, it might accidentally scratch a couch, so you can't do this on all couches. Common sense, right? Now, you might even see it from here that this is starting to discolor a little bit and starting to turn white. That is from everything that has been dried and caked in, starting to break loose. And it's just like when you see plastic start to break. You see plastic where it stresses, it'll start to turn white. Same thing, kind of like this. All these little cracks forming from me breaking this open is causing it to look white. Here, let me show you. It's starting to get uglier. You'll notice that this looks way worse than before because we broke it up, and now with the vacuum, we're starting to pull all this stuff out. So we're gonna do another couple passes, and hopefully we can start to get all of this out, and this will hopefully look normal-ish before we get it wet. Fun already, right? You see all that stuff coming out? You see that? Whew. Let me get these clothes out of here. Yeah. Couple announcements while I'm scrubbing. I'm speaking March 5th in Tennessee at the Rental Retreat Expo. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be kind of a small group, very intimate setting. If you want a ticket, there's going to be a link in the description down below. And second, for this year, any of you who don't have an Airbnb yet, you're watching this video, which is kind of fun, but if you don't have an Airbnb yet, you want to get into arbitrage, I've got a guarantee My coaching team and I will guarantee that you will have an Airbnb property this year with my coaching. And if we can't get you your own property by coaching you, I will give you an Airbnb property for free. There will be a link down below to talk to my team for that as well. I'll see you guys back.
This is what it looks like now. And this has no solution. This is nothing but a vacuum. Now this isn't perfect yet. I'm sure you can see there's a little bit still right here, even especially with this lighting. But what's important to know, the reason why we have to do this dry is if you got this wet, all the stuff that just came out would have stayed in the fabric, soaked. It would have turned into mud. And to try to get it out with a cheap vacuum, this is a little Bissell. To get it out with something this small would be impossible. So if you're gonna do this without paying hundreds of dollars to a professional, you have to do multiple passes of dry cleaning. That way, all this extra stuff is out. Now, if I want to use a solution here, or here, or here, or up here, to try to get the rest of it out, there's way less dirt, there's way less grime, because that dirt was actually bonded to a bunch of other stuff like oil and skin and all this nasty stuff. And we don't know what this is. It could be oil and fat, it could be protein based, it could be some sort of other chemical base, and we don't know if it's sugar or if it's fat or if it's protein, whatever it is that's in here. And different solvents solve other problems. Like if this was a protein base, like say like blood, then we would need an enzyme. If this is oil based, then water won't work because oil and water, we need a solvent that actually would pull the oil out. Now, if this is something else, then water is fine and easy, but this would look like it was food. Looked like it could have been ice cream, which would have been sugar, fat, and protein. And so when this dried, brushing it away solves most of our work. And now if I use a dish soap or a laundry detergent or a specialized cleaner, I'm not pushing that ball uphill anymore. So if you have housekeepers, teach them to do it exactly this way. This couch has not been cleaned, I hate to confess it, but probably since we got it when Stay Alfred went out of business. This is one of Stay Alfred's sleeper sofas. That was 2020. And you know, I took a couple years off, starting like 2021. So, my bad. But even a years old couch that's nasty can be recovered, and that's the point. I hope you liked this short educational video on dealing with the nasty stuff. Give me a follow or a subscribe if you're not there yet. I'll teach you everything about Airbnb, and friendly reminder, please do like the video. If you want to learn about interior design, here's a playlist to make pretty spaces. I'm actually in the middle of revamping this one. It's going to look completely different in a few days. And if you're learning about how to run a better business, get more bookings, then my pricing strategy playlist will teach you everything about getting your calendar full. Pick one of those two next. Love you guys. I'll see you on the other side.